Welcome back to another edition of Talk Nerdy to Me. I am your host, Troy Stegner, and I'm going to give you a preview of a comic coming out tomorrow, March 31st. This is another one of my favorite characters, Spider-Man favorite family. Spider-Man's always been my favorite. I like my characters flawed, and they don't come much more flawed than Peter Parker, a guy who can't do anything right. So, with no further ado, fooled you. Please subscribe to the channel. It really does help us with the metrics, and while you're at it, hit the bell icon, and you'll be notified whenever we put up new videos. Now, onto the comic. Silk number 1. I believe she had her debut in Amazing Spider-Man, I want to say number 4, I might be wrong. It was a single digit number when they relaunched Spider-Man. Silk, great character, Cindy Moon. She was actually, her story is she was bitten by the same spider that bit Peter Parker. But she got put away in a bunker for 10 years and they were training her to be an assassin. You meet her in Amazing Spider-Man number 4. She gets out of the bunker and finds out, hey, her family's still around, or part of her family's still around her. She finds her brother. And you learn all about her skill set. Her skill set pretty similar to Peter's. She has the precognitive ability to know when danger's coming, and she can shoot webs, but she did not have to build mechanical web shooters. That's always been kind of my thing. You know, sure, Peter Parker is a genius intellect, but as a high schooler, you want me to believe he built mechanical web shooters? That's why I kind of liked the Tobey Maguire, where they actually let it come through his wrist instead of through the mechanical things. It was a physical part of him, just like a real spider. Well, hers too, but they come out of her fingertips. That and the fact that she's been trained by some secret groups to be very, very deadly. Okay, Silk number 1, we're getting some more story about, not backstory, more of her current story. She's living, I'm guessing, in New York with her brother. She is working for I guess it's an online blog called Threats Menaces. Guess who the editor is? That's right, Jonah Jameson. That guy will not go away. Now he's moved digital and still doing the Threats Menaces thing. She's working as a reporter for him. They find out her first day on, one of the other reporters takes her to a murder scene, and they do some investigating. You know, the cops are there. The cops finally kick them off. But they realize this gang is called the Mulligan Gang. They were killed by something pretty beastly. I mean, there's claw and bite marks, and you know, she even mentions, are there werewolves in New York now? But she goes back and writes her story. She's trying to impress the boss, J. Jonah. She writes the story about the mysterious deaths of the Mulligan Gang and how things just didn't add up. Come to find out, J. Jonah is, he stays late, and she sees J. Jonah in the elevator. They're both going out to the subway. She notices some weird guys are following him. So she ducks out, changes into her costume, takes care of the two bad guys who are basically, they corner J. Jonah and tell him, hey, don't run that story about the Mulligan Gang or you're going to be sorry. A little threat like that. And then she comes in, whoops them up, pulls some technology out of there. It was kind of like a hearing aid, except that it was embedded deeply into their brain somehow. So she takes that, she goes back and she's investigating what the heck. She finds the company that built that. It's some electronics that is Fuji something or another that developed and made that. And so she does some research and she finds the living heir to that company. And then it flashes over to that woman who owns the company, and she goes upstairs. And lo and behold, her assistants tell her, hey, somebody here is waiting on you, and they look kind of concerned. She walks in and it's this big cat-looking werewolf thing. It looks like it's at least 8 to 10 feet tall, so put 2 and 2 together. That's probably what killed the Mulligan Gang, because she even talks to him about the Mulligan Gang later. So I don't recognize that cat person. I don't recognize the electronics heir, the girl who's talking to the big humanoid cat thing. So, I mean, it left a lot of questions, and good questions that I want to see answered. I like Silk. I like most of the Spider-Man family. Cindy Moon, no exception to that. So, Silk #1. This, of course, I'm kind of, there's probably 5 or 6 different covers, and some of them are very amazing. I'm always partial to Scotty Young type stuff. And I believe this, yes, it looks like Scotty Young's. He does the chibi looking child stuff. So, Silk #1, good read. If you're a Spider-Man fan, even better read. I'm sure we're probably going to see some crossover between her and Spider-Man. We've already got J. Jonah in there. What more can you ask for? Highly recommend Silk #1. Great book. Should read it. Pick it up on your shelf if you got any left. There's some other covers that are almost photorealistic looking, great artwork. So yeah, Marvel's doing well with Silk #1. That being said, please subscribe to this channel. It does help with the metrics. And while you're at it, hit the bell icon and you'll be notified whenever we put up a new video. Speaking of that, until the next video, later, nerds.
Get nerdy with me. Tell me what game that you get on. Is it card or read? What kind of class do you play, girl? In an RPG.